Hi, it's Rebecca Trevelise with Music Game Club. Do you ever find that your students get confused or frustrated? Frustration often is a signal to me that there might be some confusion about what the student is experiencing. And this can be at the piano, or it can just be a new concept that they're learning in music theory. One of the things that I really like about playing music theory games with my students is when you're playing a game, it's such a gentle way of correcting a student if they get the answer wrong. For instance, if a student, draws a card and they have to identify, say they're identifying half steps or whole steps, and say it's a new concept, or maybe it's not a new concept, maybe they just haven't grasped it yet, and so they guess wrong. Well, I just help them right there. Or I ask a student, say, hey, what do you think? Can you confirm that it's a half step or if it's a whole step? And it's just a gentle way for them to then correct themselves and get the answer correct. Versus if you imagine them filling out a worksheet, maybe they have a lesson at home that they've got to do in their workbook, so they do it during the week at home, and then they bring it to you the next week to correct, and a lot of it's wrong. That's very disappointing for you and for the student, and then you've got to erase everything, fix it, so it takes extra time. It takes twice as long, right, to fill it out. So I'm a big proponent of doing music theory learning with your student, because then you catch mistakes right when they happen. Then it clues you in on, oh, we need to spend more time on this because they're not getting most of them right. So a lot of times with a student who does need more time, I will play the printable game board one week, and then the next week I often switch to a boom deck. And they'll go through the boom deck. And sometimes just that difference of learning platform, sometimes it really kind of starts to click. And then a lot of times we'll go back to the printable game board. And usually that's when I start to see, oh, okay, they're starting to get this now. There's also alternative gameplays. There's usually 4 boom decks that we release with each game. So I just encourage you to use the games to your advantage during your lesson time when teaching music theory. If you do, I also issue my students music theory workbooks. So when they do have homework, usually I'll do that in the lesson with them, but we'll play the game first. So they're learning in a very laughter-filled environment. And then, hey, you know what, let's knock out that worksheet. We've got 3 minutes left. Let's fill this in about half steps and whole steps. So games are repetitive practice. It's like giving them the same worksheet over and over again each week, except the difference is you're in the lesson with them. You're learning right alongside of them. You're correcting them the moment they make a mistake. They're laughing with you. They're bonding with you. There's beautiful art involved, usually some amazing animals or some kind of amazing scene. Or it's a fast-paced environment where you're keeping track of how many points. That's, to me, if I were a student, that's how I would want to do repetitive practice over maybe a hard concept or a new concept, would be playing a game every week. Yes, please. I would like to do that. So I encourage you to do that with your students in your studio. It does make a difference in their retention of the concept because they're learning it in a very fun, relaxing environment. There's not a pressure of a test or filling it out right or wrong on a worksheet, having to erase, or it's just a game. I highly encourage you to do that. Just really demonstrates how strong a component music theory games can be for your studio. So let us know how you turn frustration in lessons into progress.